Hi guys, my name is Robin and today I'm bringing you my November TBR. Okay, so with October, my TBR got a little bit away from me. So I started with 7 books that I had on my pointless TBR. 4 of them I finished, 2 I started but got nowhere near finishing. So I will tell you about those. So these were the books on my TBR plus Kingdom of Copper. So I read the top 3 and listened to Kingdom of Copper on audiobook. Didn't finish the last 3, which were the biggest ones, unfortunately. So if you've watched my wrap up as well, I read other things instead of finishing these books. So I'll tell you a little bit about why I didn't finish some of these books. So with Flawed, I only got like 15 pages in, and I stopped reading this book to read Vicious, which I also didn't finish within the month anyway. My last week of October I really didn't read a lot. I did other things instead, unfortunately, so I didn't get to finish this. I was enjoying it. I hadn't really started it. I was 2 chapters in, I think, but it was still enjoyable, and I think that I will continue with this book. I might take this one over as my punishment. I haven't decided just yet. So the other one was Tower of Dawn, and I started Tower of Dawn and I got a chapter in and then decided that I need to reread the whole series. Like, it doesn't feel familiar to me. So reading the other books, usually when I take a break from series, I like jump right back in and I feel like I'm there. With this book, I really didn't, and I can't remember a lot of what happens because this is the 6th book. I've already read 5 that I have basically forgotten what happened in it. And I feel like I won't enjoy these last 2 books as much as I would if I had read them straight one after the other. So I'm making the decision, I'm going to do a reread. I'm going to reread the whole series and finally get to this one and Kingdom of Ash, the last book. I might be able to achieve it before the end of the year. We'll see how my TBR prompts go, that maybe I'll be able to fit them in. But we'll have to see. But for right now, that is why I didn't read this book, and I won't be putting it on my TBR for next month, but maybe before the end of the year. And the last one was Skyward. So Skyward I didn't even start. I didn't even attempt to start, and it makes me feel really bad because this is also one of my 5-star predictions. So I really do want to read this to then see if it is a 5-star book for me. So I think this is the one I'm going to take over. So this will be on this month's TBR as my punishment for not completing my TBR. So let's get into the prompts. So if you haven't watched one of my TBRs before, my TBR game is based on the British TV show Pointless. So I get a prompt and then have to pick a book for that prompt and then look it up on Goodreads. And the number of ratings that it has on Goodreads are the number of points that it gets. I have 5 prompts to do. If it gets to more than 200 points, I have to add another book to my TBR. So I'm really hoping to have a small TBR, at least like the ones that I have to read for my TBR game, because I probably will read more than 5, but I like to have more choice. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the first prompt is a book with a colour in the title. And I have some, not many, but I will find one. So for a book with a colour in the title, all of the books that I own are gonna be really high. So I have like Blue Lily Blue or Red Queen, which I know are super high. So I've chosen one of my other ones, which is Written in Red by Anne Bishop. And this one gets 50,360 ratings. So that is 50 points for this book, which is a high start, but we'll go with it. So from what I remember from this book is that it includes werewolves, and I can't remember, our main character is fleeing from something and goes and gets another group of werewolves. I think it's paranormal, crime based. I actually picked this up because the author came to Supernova in Australia, and I got it signed, and that was the main reason for picking up her book. The synopsis did sound really interesting, which was another reason why I picked it up. So I'm hoping that this will be really good. We'll see how it goes. It's been a long time since I got a couple of years, 3 or 4 years, but this is my first pick. Okay, so the next prompt is an author's debut novel. And so when I picked this prompt for myself, it's either a 2020 debut or their debut, whatever novel they wrote first. I think I'm going to try for 2020 debut though, because I haven't read a lot of books that were actually published this year yet. So let's try find one of those. Okay, so for this prompt I did find a 2020 debut. And this one is Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Cochran. So this was a book that I think I came across it as I was looking through 2020 releases, trying to find some more to read, and it's available as from a digital copy from my library. So I have got that book on loan for the moment. And this one, because it's a new release, luckily, it only has 599 ratings, which gives it 1 point, which is great. So this is a fantasy novel based in a kingdom with royalty. It has some political drama, it has murder, there are a lot of secrets. It sounds really interesting, and it also has a female-female romance. So I'm really looking forward to finding a new author and hopefully loving this book. Alright, so we're at 51 points so far, so not bad. The next prompt is a book with a title that starts with the letter D. Okay, so I'm going to have to think about this one for D and come up with a low answer. Okay, so there are actually a lot of books that start with D on my shelves, which is nice, but I have chosen Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levensella, and this book gets 34,533, so 35 points, which isn't bad, I don't think. But this book I have actually tried to read before, so I got 100 or so pages in the last time I read it, which was a couple years ago, when I took this book with me on holiday to Sydney and then just didn't read it when I came home. I'm definitely going to have to restart the book because I don't remember basically anything that happened in those first 100 pages. I do remember enjoying it because it is about pirates and, you know, lots of fighting. Apparently there is a really good romance in this book as well, which I'm looking forward to. So I'm hoping to get through it quickly because I do also own Daughter of the Siren Queen, which is on that shelf just there. And it's a duology, so if I can get to this one, maybe I can finish off the series before the end of the year. But hopefully I'll enjoy it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're at 86 points so far. So I'm feeling pretty confident that I won't break 200, but we'll see. So the next prompt is a book with a one-word title. A book with one-word title. I find actually a lot of fantasy don't have one-word titles. They actually have really long titles, so we'll see how I go with finding one. Okay, so the book that I have chosen for having a one-word title may be a bad choice, but that is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. And we'll see how many points this one has. So 53,091. So 53 points. So still, we're doing okay. It's not bad. I thought it would be worse actually. I thought it would be over 100,000 and that I was screwed, but maybe not. But this book as well, I have started in the past. I only got 50 pages in the last time, which was quite a few years ago. I kind of chose this one because I have been wanting to read Illuminae again for a really long time, but I don't want to put a reread on my TBR. So I thought I'll put new books on my TBR and maybe I'll just reread Illuminae for the hell of it this month. I loved Illuminae so much, and this is definitely darker than Illuminae. So in this book we follow Mia, who is an assassin for the Red Church, I think. Yeah, it's called Red Church. And that's all I really know. Everyone seems to love this series. Apparently it's real gory, real violent, which I am up for. I'm hoping to enjoy it because I have loved the Illuminae series. From that, so it's Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman write the Illuminae files together. And I've read some of Amy Kaufman's other books and liked them a lot less. So I'm hoping to really enjoy Jay Kristoff's books. Maybe he's the reason that I love Illuminae. But we will see. I will finish this book. I'll have to restart it again because, like the last one, I cannot remember what happened at all. And I was only 50 pages in as it was, so I'll be restarting it and finishing it. Fingers crossed. Okay, so as it stands, I'm on 139, so if I'm less than 61, I'm home free. And the last prompt, I think it'll be the last prompt, is a book with a title that does not have repeating letters. I forgot this one was in here. A book with a title that does not have repeating letters is gonna be real hard. Okay, you'll have to give me a second for this one. So this one was really hard to find, but I picked Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. And no repeating letters in Wicked Fox. So this one has 8,306. So that is 8 points, which is very low and doesn't take me over 200. So this book I've been meaning to get to for a long time. I started the audiobook a year or two ago, and for some reason the audiobook that I had skipped a couple chapters in the middle. So it was just a useless audiobook at that point, so I stopped listening to it and picked up the book and just haven't gone around to it since. So this is a fantasy series about Ninetales. And I'm excited to get to it, and hopefully I will love it. I was really enjoying it up to the point where the audiobook stops, so hopefully it will continue just like that. So these are all the books that I have to read this month, and then the ebook of Queen of Coin and Whispers. So it's quite a few books, quite a few chunky books too actually, so I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to take a punishment next month, because I don't know if I will get to all of these. They are books that I'm really excited to get to, which is a positive. And if I stay away from board games and TV shows, then maybe I will actually get to them all. So there are a couple of other books that I plan on reading in November, the first of which is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I'm already 170 pages in, so I've only got 150 or so left. I'm really enjoying this book. It is really good, and I think I'll probably finish it tonight. So this one will be finished first. I just didn't finish it in enough time for it to be in October, unfortunately. I also have these two out from the library. So this is The Night Country, which is the second book to The Hazelwood, which I read in October. I've been really excited to read this one since I finished that book. Although I'm a little apprehensive about where this book is going to go, because for me, The Hazelwood was such a complete book and there wasn't a lot left unfinished. There were ways that the book could have gone, or extras that I can see that could be written about, but I don't really know where this book goes. But I'm excited to find out, so I will probably be reading this one. The other book was The Bone Cries Moon by Purdy. And as I said when the debut author prompt came up, I've been trying to read more 2020 releases. and this one came out this year. A lot of people have been raving about this book and really enjoying it. And I think it's like a star-crossed lovers. The main character in this book has to kill her first love in order to be a bone crier, I think is the main premise. And I'm just really excited. It's going to be hopefully some romance. It's a lot of fantasy. I'll hopefully love it. So I have this one out from the library as well, so I'll be reading it this month because it has to go back. So I have a large amount of books on my TBR. The other ones that I might get to are some of the Throne of Glass books, because as I said, I want to reread the whole Throne of Glass series before continuing with Tower of Dawn and then Kingdom of Ash. And I also really want to reread Illuminae, but I feel like there is not enough room for this month, so maybe that'll be a December goal. We'll see. Okay, so those are all the books for this month. Wish me luck with finishing them all. Well, there are so many. I'm not going to get to them all. Definitely not. We'll see which ones I get to at my wrap up at the end of the month. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.